folks that utilize this resource get to hear from the best of the best, and they get to hear different kind of perspectives on how this is playing out in their local service areas, how this is playing out in their business practices. Now, we're all bound by the same rules, and yet, how you communicate those things to your clients can sound different from one top agent to the next, and both could be right. And so I love that it kind of puts the collaborative nature of our company on display, if you will. The top agents sharing their best practices for all to use and learn from. And I love that it's almost like a one-stop shop for a lot of these resources. Now, it's probably not every single resource that exists, but in terms of focusing, folks on key pieces of value around those things, it does a great job of that.
Yeah. Well, and I like the fact that it's in multiple different mediums, right? I mean, there are people who are going to actually get a lot. They're visual. They want to watch the videos. There'll be others who are more kinesthetic or visual, who want to read. They want a PDF in their hand. What I do like as well is that the company has released these tools to pretty much anyone, right? To all agents in the industry, not just Keller Williams. And I want to just share a quote from Jason Abrams, who's the head of Keller Williams University. And he said, Keller Williams carries a special mantle by which to go educate and then share the education with the industry. Gary Keller didn't write The Millionaire Real Estate Agent and cloister it away. He shared it with the industry. And in the same way, we felt this was just too important to keep online in-house.
They cut 500 employees in June of 2022 and another 200 in April of 2023, and now somewhere around 100 below, they're saying. But that's, just under 1,000 total in a relatively short period of time. And, here they are kind of going against the grain of everything they've been about in certain ways, which is asking agents to be more entrepreneurial and self-sufficient versus their employees. We feed them and our economics reflect that, right, Bruce? And I talked about kind of the quote unquote failure of this disruptive model from a profitability standpoint so far. They reported a loss of $27.9 million in the second quarter of 2024, which is slightly more than $27.4 million loss in the second quarter of 2023. So those are big losses. Those are not small losses. There's an interesting quote in here, Bruce, from the CEO. I think I'd love for you to share that to our listeners.
This is fascinating. Even though its revenue and gross profit were up, which is fascinating, right? Their gross profit, but they were losses, were up on a yearly basis. What they're saying is the stagnant housing market conditions of 2024 have prompted CEO Glenn Kelman to say that if mortgage rates don't fall and home sales don't increase, plan B is to drink our own urine or our competitors' blood.
That's one of the best quotes we've ever shared on this news podcast, Bruce.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Yeah, I got to be honest with you, Glenn. It's probably not going to be your competitor's blood.
And so they have these text messages from one agent here and one agent there from across the country, and all of a sudden they're trying to parlay that into conspiracy by these large organizations. Yeah. I mean, come on. There's 1.6 million realtors, and you don't think one of them has a particular opinion about what you're doing and responds to it in a way that you don't like, and somehow now it's conspiracy? It's just, it's silliness, Bruce.
It is. And, to think that they pioneered the concept of flat fee. I mean, that's been around for years.
Decades.
Doing that, right? And I think what's interesting, the lawsuit goes on to claim that Homey was subject to both express and tacit boycotts that involved real estate incumbents steering buyers away from the company's listings. The complaint also includes a transcript of an alleged text message in which one agent discusses not showing a Homey listing because it was only offering a 1.5% commission to the buyer's broker.
Yeah, it's one. Yeah, and there's one over here and one over there, and now it's a conspiracy, right? I think that Vice President of Home Services Executive Chris Kelly said it well. He said the industry has undergone significant evolution over the past decade with dynamic changes in the competitive landscape. Kelly continued. For example, one of the top 10 brokerages by closed sides in 2013 Only 3 remain in the top 10 years later in 2023, right? That's measuring innovation, measuring change, measuring new competition that's actually happening.